great years. But we're really looking forward to the season. Hopefully we can be back having a chance to once again compete for the Big 12 championship. I think it's fair to say our league, when you add West Virginia and TCU, two teams coming off bowl wins, two ranked football teams, you put them with the rest of what we've been doing here in the Big 12, that our league is every bit as strong as it's ever been, if not stronger. So it'll be a challenging year. Also, you know, the non-conference schedule for us, when you add Notre Dame in to the equation with the rest of the league, it's a challenging and tough schedule, but one I know it's got the attention of our players, and it'll be exciting to work our way through it.
Okay, we'll take questions for Coach. Be sure to give your name and your affiliation, please, as you ask the questions. We'll start up here with Barry. Just a second.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman. Bob, I assume you heard about the Penn State penalties. What's your initial reaction to them, and your thought on the NCAA getting involved, and then just the severity of the penalties? You know, my expertise is just in coaching football. So administrators, presidents, and them are, you trust they understand what needs to happen and doesn't. That's really not up to me to judge. The whole situation is just incredibly tragic. That's the only word I can use to describe the whole thing. I'm not one to I don't know all the facts. I'm not one to judge, but in every way possible, children should always be protected by adults, and that's all I would say about it.
Questions for Coach? Got a question about halfway back on the right.
Randy Riggs, Austin American-Statesman. Bob, can you just give us an assessment overall of your wide receiving core? You lost some guys. You got some new guys coming in. Where you think it is?
Yeah, that's going to be a big part of what we're doing here in two-a-days. Two guys I know that were awfully, Kenny Stills has been a mainstay for us for a number of years, and we're expecting Kenny to have a great year. Trey Matoyer is a guy that we didn't have a year ago that had a great spring consistently in every practice, in every scrimmage we had, really showed up, made competitive plays. So he's another guy that we're going to really count on. And then from there, it's going to be, we're going to have to see, because we're not able to work with the players in the summer. And a lot of these guys are new, the young, some of the young high school receivers we have in, and then with the addition of some junior college guys. So we've got a lot of work to do there, but I believe there's talent there to work with.
Got a question in the middle front, right up here. Put your hand up again so she'll know where. There you are. Thank you.
Don Willis, North Dallas Gazette. Coach, the City Council of Dallas passed amendment for as an expansion for the Cotton Bowl for new improvement. How you feel about the Texas OU game still be played there, but the tradition about that game and also the recruiting possibility that the kids still be a part of that tradition playing at the Cotton Bowl?
Yeah, it is pretty special playing in the Cotton Bowl. You just can't. The environment of a state fair surrounding that whole beautiful, I still say it's beautiful stadium because of what it is. It's the Cotton Bowl, So to me, I'm kind of a stadium junkie. I like playing in all of them, and to play in the Cotton Bowl to me has always been pretty special. And hopefully they'll continue to make improvements to keep it there. When you look at the number of seats they've been able to add, is a major positive as well. But I guess, again, just pulling into that atmosphere with the state fair going on around it is pretty special, for not only for the teams, I'm sure for the fans as well.
Question on the outside left.
Bob, Tim Griffin with the San Antonio Express News. Your brother Mike is coming back in the program after being gone for several years. How do you feel like he's going to change your defense coming back? And the experiences he's had since he left your program the first time, how has he changed bringing and coming back?
Well, I'm excited to have Mike back, and for a number of reasons, not only personally but professionally. When we've worked together, it's been pretty positive. When you look at our years, either competing at Iowa together as players, but also the years at Kansas State coaching defense together. His first, 5, 6 years with us at Oklahoma up to 2003, we did pretty well overall. And so Mike can only do so much, though, as just like any coach can. Players ultimately are the ones that win and lose for you. But I do believe in the last couple of years, for whatever reason, and we've really looked at it, that our defense hasn't been quite as strong as what we've been used to in our first 10, 12 years. So, so hopefully, we can make fewer mental mistakes in some areas and be a little sharper in what we're doing to play more consistently and better defense. So that's what Mike will be working hard on, and I've got obviously a lot of faith in him.
Question about halfway back on the right.
Sean Fry with the Kansas State Collegian. You mentioned Kenny Stills a little bit. Is there a bit of a changing of the guard, if you will, with Landry now kind of changing his top target from Ryan Broyles to Kenny Stills? And how has Kenny been adjusting to that since Broyles has left?
Well, I'm sure there will be to some degree, but, Landry to Kenny Stills, but it's also going to have to be other players. In this game, it's about everybody. So we're going to need, other receivers to spread the field. We're going to need to run the football better than we did a year ago to create, space back there to throw the ball. So it's kind of all of it working together. I think too much of the time, it's all put on the quarterback. The quarterback's only as good as the guys surrounding them, and hopefully those guys will be able to be more consistent this year.
Question on the outside right. We have two of them together, and then
Scott Fitzgerald, 1340 The Fan, Lubbock, Texas. Landry struggled at the end of last season. What have you asked him to improve on moving forward into 2012?
I didn't ask him to have to improve on anything. I asked about 10 guys around him. They needed to improve. It's kind of like I said, Landry struggled. No, he didn't. The offense struggled. He had more drop passes. He had more drop passes in the last 3 games. Maybe we couldn't even keep track of how many. Didn't run the football as effectively as we needed to at all. All of that goes together. And so to me, it's more of an issue of the offense and the offense around him than it is him.
question on the outside right, and then we're coming to the front.
Kellis Robinette with the Wichita Eagle and Kansas City Star. Coach, how do you envision Blake Bell's role expanding this year within the offense?
How do I envision Blake Bell's role? Very much the same as what it has been. Blake's an excellent athlete, continues to do well. He throws the ball well, but I'm not going to alternate quarterbacks, and so it'll stay pretty much the same. Red zone and short yardage, those situations. We want to, you get the extra hat, you get the extra blocker on somebody, and you got a guy 260 pounds that's 6'6" falling forward, it's usually positive.
Question on the front row, and then we'll come over to Barry.
Stephanie Kuzin with the Oklahoman. Coach, what was your initial reaction to Kenny in that dress?
I didn't have much of one.
Okay.
Bob, you got a married quarterback now. I don't think you've ever had one. You going to coach a married guy any different?
I got a married quarterback. Good for him. He's got a special wife too. So no, we'll coach Landry like we always have. And probably need to say because the opportunity's there. But he's got a great mentor and a great coach in Josh Heupel, who's really groomed and coached a lot of great quarterbacks. And he's doing a great job, I believe, working with Landry.
Question in the middle. We need to pass them.
Yeah, John Harris, Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Coach, West Virginia, new to the league, preseason number 2, the quarterback, preseason offensive player of the year. Just your thoughts on this new member coming in and with pretty high reputation early.
Absolutely. The team, I've finished the year in a great way with a huge win. Geno Smith, an excellent quarterback, not only throws, can run it. They high-powered offense. An excellent football team. So it's kind of how when one of my opening remarks, I believe, with these guys coming in, they're both teams that are used to winning championships. So it's going to be tough. It's made the league really difficult. So But at the same time, it's exciting. And I know geographically it's a little bit different, but I think that's okay too. Why not expand your boundaries a little bit? You know, in today's world, the way, you know, you cover media, you could cover anybody, you know, and same thing, traveling anymore, it's, you know, it's pretty reasonable no matter where you go. So I think it's a positive.
Outside left.
Stephen Hawkins with the AP. Bob, the last couple of years we've been here, we've talked about what's going to happen in this league because there were so many questions. Talk about the difference in stability now. Bob Bowlesby's come in, we have 2 new members, and just how different things.
Yeah, I think it's should be pretty obvious that, you know, that it's a great league, and Bob Bowlesby has a great track record of leadership and success. You look at the contractual agreements throughout the league are strong. So and again, you look at the TV contracts, on and on, with everything, the revenue sharing. It's all, to me, it's all positive and shows great stability. And again, the quality of teams shows great strength. And you know, and for us to move forward and continue to develop our conference.
Question on the front row.
Coach Jason Kersey from the Oklahoman. With the loss of a couple of all Big 12 defensive ends, do you feel confident that the pass rush will still be effective with RJ and David taking over as starters? Well, yeah, I do, in that, you know, we've got other guys coming up that hopefully can be those kind of guys. RJ Washington and David King are both seniors and have played a lot of football for us. We've got some young guys coming up, too. Chuka Nejile is doing an excellent job, and then even some young, you know, Michael Anoha, Charles Tapper, 2 young freshmen that we're really excited about, you know, that hopefully can also jump in there and help us some. So, you know, other guys have to do it, and then you have to do it a little bit through blitzes and, you know, and the timing of those. So, it's, you know, hopefully we'll be able to do it.
Question middle, halfway back.
Bob, Cedric Golden, Austin American Statesman. Could you tell us a little bit about what Dominique Whaley, where he is in his rehab, and the other guys are going to have to step up in running back as well?
Yeah, Dominique is a guy that has trained well. He's been cleared to do everything. So, you know, he's out there running and training, and I'm not able to work with him, so it's a little bit tough. And I don't think even Dom knows until you get the pads on and you got to make that sudden cut, and you know, is he going to feel comfortable doing it and all. He says he feels really good and he's working well, but again, until you get out there, it's kind of hard to say. The other guys, you know, Brennan Clay, Roy Finch have been mainstays, have been good football players for us. Hopefully they can continue to do that or more, have better years and contribute. And we got a bunch of young guys that are all in, and Damian Williams, a junior college guy, and then, you know, a couple of young freshmen that are really talented players. So it'll be fun to get out there in those first, you know, that first week to start bringing those guys along.
Question on the right.
Again, Sean with the Collegian. Can you talk about your offensive line a little bit? You got two of your players ranked on the preseason All Big 12 poll, and your offensive line was pretty good last year, so just talk about that.
I think our offensive line should be one of our better units this year with the experience they have, the quality of players up there. A year ago, they did a great job protecting the quarterback. I still believe we could have run the football better than we did. I believe we'll hopefully be able to do that this year. We will sure, you know, put the emphasis on it. But there's a lot of experience there and quality play. Darrell Williams is the one new guy coming in who's really, we believe it has a chance to be a really good football player. So then the rest of the guys are all back. So I think it's going to be a good unit.
Question on the outside left.
Involved with TCU over the course of the last 7 or 8 years in a pretty competitive series. How do you feel like their program will translate into the Big 12 and what Gary's coaching will bring to this conference?
Well, they've been playing all these, you know, all us teams, you know, through the years, and they always play well. So they're used to winning championships. Gary does an outstanding job, you know, coaching along with his staff. So, you know, they'll be tough. There's no question. I mean, they just, 2 years from winning a Rose Bowl, you know, and beating Wisconsin down there. So, again, for them, they're a strong, good football team and program, so I'm sure it'll be difficult. It'll be a big challenge playing them.
Question on the outside left.
Bob Backangle from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Would you say in your time at the Big 12, this conference is more quarterback-oriented more than ever before, or do you still see both sides?
Oh, it's definitely been, you know, it's been a strong quarterback league here for a great number of years. I mean, I don't need to go back through them all for you, but we've had a lot of excellent quarterbacks in this league, and still do. So it's something we've become used to.
Question on the front. Just a moment. Hold on. Whoa. Just a second. Thank you.
Tommy Smith with Rattle and Hum Sports, Coach. Being reunited with your brother again, Mike, what does that mean for you going forward this year?
What does it mean for me?
Yeah, as a defensive coordinator.
Well, I mean, personally, it means I get to see my brother every day and get to see his children more, and that's fun for me and positive. And you know, my mother gets to go to one place instead of two to see us, so all those kind of things, family-wise, are good. And then again, you know, our track record working together and competing together has been pretty positive, so I feel good about that as well. And you know, trust Mike's judgment on a lot of issues, and I'm sure it'll be a positive.
Question on the outside right.
Gary Nemick of the Tulsa World. Bob, you talked about Landry needing support around him for your offense to succeed, but given everything that we've heard in the offseason, he's really dedicated himself, you know, shed some weight, done some things to work on improving what little he needs to improve. You get a sense he's poised for a big senior season?
Well, I know he's doing all he can to do that, to have a big senior season. Again, it only happens when guys around him are going to catch the ball and not drop it and be in bases and those kind of things. So we've got to make sure all that's happening. I think all quarterbacks at this age are making improvement if they're working hard, and Landry's like that, improving his footwork, always building your body, training, you know, to be stronger, a little quicker, get the ball out a little better, and you know, Landry works as hard as anybody we've had. So I'm sure in those kind of ways he's done what he's able to do to make sure he's at his best.
Oh, we've got the final question from Randy.
Randy Riggs, Austin American. Bob, there's obviously some really good quarterbacks remaining in this league, but there are also a pretty good bunch of really good running backs. I mean, do you see the pendulum kind of swinging back a little from the wide open spread stuff to maybe more balance in the Big 12 overall?
Well, I think as much as anybody, when you look at the teams that are spreading it out, they're always, if you're really paying attention, which I am as a, you know, sometimes as more of a defensive guy, that they're sneaky in how well they run the football, and so there is a lot of good running backs in this league, and I think sometimes even with the good quarterbacks of these spread teams, you know, they can kill you running the football, and so we're always very aware of that. So yes, I do recognize what you're saying. There's a lot of good quality run game, you know, that's happening in our league, and that you have to be aware of each week.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much for your comments, and have a great season.
Thank you.